What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, like, comment, subscribe for stuff like that. Starting off the video pretty strong with the pick six. This is another defensive video out of my nickel 2-4-5. Back to being my base defense. It's a little better in the run than the dime, of course. But as you see, we're gonna get another interception here. Here's just a couple of clips, including a blitz right here. I'm going to be running one of the blitzes that I run. He's going to come free up the A gap for back-to-back sacks. But I like to show you guys clips, in-game clips, because I feel like it's a better representation of what you will see online against an actual opponent. So as you see in these clips, it's going to be, bunch strong, bunch offset, trips, the meta formations, because a lot of people struggle against the meta. It's the meta for a reason. But me, I feel like I have a very good grasp of how to stop these meta formations. Here is before I perfected the blitz. It doesn't matter though, as the coverage on the back end is just so good that you get an interception anyway. Here I'm going to be running a blitz again. He's going to come up free up the A gap. Running back picks him up. He's going to beat that running back in pass pro. Forces the rollout, and this is why I'm so big on match coverage. As you see, he took the wheel route all the way up the field. So right here, this is against trips. I probably could have, bracketed this over top, but Kevin Byard was all over it anyway. We get the interception on 3rd and 7. So for the next clip, trips again. 3-rack hook. Pay close attention to him and how he just completely baited our opponent. I love match defense. This is why it's kind of realistic of what you can expect real life defenses to look like. Also, I'm kind of like, I wouldn't say I'm super sim, but as you see right here, nothing's going to be open. We get the knockout.
Similar to others, right? In this first clip, I'm in cover 9, right? So usually what happens in cover 9 is you have your deep half here, you have a soft squad here, you have a vertical hook here, right? You have your 3-rec. This is usually this linebacker. He's usually in a 3-rec there. You have your quarter flat backside who kind of plays man on this running back coming out the backfield, if you guys see him right here. And then this guy's usually manned up, locked up, right? But with my adjustments on this particular play, right, everything stays, right? Well, not everything, but pretty much everything stays, yeah, except this 3-rec, right? I take him and I man him up on the crosser. The reason I do that is to free up my user, because usually I would be the one poaching, crossers, right? But sometimes, I just want to mix it up by manning up the point man, right, with this 3-rec defender right here. He's going to carry him all the way. He's already inside leverage, so he does a pretty good job on the cross anyway. And that allows me as a user to basically replace, and I rob. So I'm basically the 3-rec from depth, right? And that just, that's kind of to throw my opponent off, because sometimes they're like, okay, they watch my user, I'm kind of playing deeper, and then sometimes I'm playing super aggressive downhill, and this is one of the instincts. So what happens here is this soft squat, he initially plays this, and he's going to take this all the way up the field. So this becomes similar to man defense, but he does keep eyes on the quarterback. If something comes across the field, like this running back, he will, sometimes bracket that to make a play, and releases the wheel to the deep half. The deep half splits, 2 to 3. So him coming up the seam, he'll split with him coming outside, right? And then this vertical hook defender does a good job of staying in the window of the tight end, right? The tight end, a lot of people like to throw this quick seam. He stays right there in that window, passes it off to the deep half. So these 3 guys, right, are all bracketing these 2 to 3 coming backside. And this guy's already manned up, right? And as you see in this clip, I'm going to catch an interception with my user, because I know that this guy is not going to be open, right? This guy's in this outside third adjustment, and with the outside third adjustment, they get this super press win against single coverage. So I know that this is not open. Those 2 routes are not open. So the only one that I think can potentially win is this guy right here getting beat across the face. And, I charge it with my Okay, so the next variant comes out of the cover 9, right? Usually you will have this defender that is manned up here. He will usually be in a vertical hook, right? But what I've noticed is that sometimes when he's in the vertical hook and he's matching down the field, this 3-rec will kind of like be in no man's land. And so what I mean by that, so I'm expecting this route combo right here, which is verticals. So you have him going across the field, you have him releasing flat to the wheel, and then him going up the seam. You got to clear out, and then your running back comes across, right? Now, cover 9 does a good job of initially playing this, because what happens is the vertical hook, he'll usually just play that seam coming out the from the tight end anyway. And then as my user, right, I'm poaching crossers. So I'm focused on this side. Anything coming from right to left, I'm robbing that the whole way, right? But when you take this defender, right, and instead of keeping him in the vertical hook to match, and you man him up to the tight end, that tells this hook, okay, I don't have to worry about the tight end. So if the running back comes across here, I'm going to take him the whole way. And so I found out that adjustment is key. That if you man up certain players, the surrounding players match accordingly to the players that are not manned up. I hope that makes sense. And it's something that I do a lot. Lastly, this guy who's usually in the quarter, backside, he's usually just playing basically man if he's in a quarter. I put him in the outside third and the press third. And the reason why is that if you watch this this player right here, press thirds and single coverage play, they get this kind of super win animation where they press the receiver all the way out if he releases vertical. And, you know, it gives the illusion that it is press man. A lot of people like to throw the ball over top, but he does not get beat. So it might look like press man, but it is not. It's an outside third. It tricks the opponent in thinking, okay, I got one-on-one coverage press. Let me go over top with a fade ball, and it doesn't work. But if he was to release, let's say he released on a 10-yard dig, right? He'll still get the press, delay that, and, you know, as my user, sometimes I can come down if I think that that's going to be open. Now, where this coverage struggles, right, would be like if this guy goes under, because he will not man this up. If this guy goes quick out, sometimes he'll press him, sometimes he won't. A 10-yard out can win. But again, the press third, especially with outside leverage, those routes, you're looking at the field and you see them in press outside leverage. That's not something that they're going to really go to a lot. And even when they do, I found that the coverage is sound enough to where if that's something that they're going to throw up and down the field, at some point I'm going to make a play on it. And so I'm comfortable with that adjustment there. And so that is the first variant, or not the first, that is one of the variants that I run out of cover 9 and why I really like it so much. So we can just watch it play here. Using one of the bunches audibles to this trips tight end. And so I like, against trips, I like cover 6. And basically what cover 6 is this defender here, this inside quarter, he is taking all of number 3 vertical. So if number 3 runs a seam, number 3 runs a cross, number 3 runs a corner, he is taking that in man-to-man coverage, right? Then you have this defender, and he is doing the same thing on the number 2. So he's taking 3, and he's taking 2 vertical. Now, what happens if 2 goes vertical and 3 goes quick to the flat? Basically, they run trap coverage. So what happens is he'll take this guy straight to the flat, and then the inside quarter will run with this vertical. And then lastly, these 2 guys are basically manned up, and that is basically how they take care of this trips. And then if it lets me move, I like to use this deep half defender, and I take this vertical hook and I man him up to the running back. The reason for that is to stop the quick flat right here. He'll take that. And also, like in the cover 9 versus bunch, when you take this defender, the vertical hook, and you man him up here to the running back, I'm trying to get that. You guys give it a play. That tells this 3-rec, okay, I don't have to worry about the running back. So if this tight end comes across the field, whether it's a crosser, whether it's a drag, he is going to take that, and he has such good leverage that he's almost never going to get beat. I've never seen him get beat on this. And so as my user, right, I'm just looking at the tight end. If the tight end goes streak, if the tight end goes corner, I'm taking that. So basically we're playing, me and the 3-rec are playing in out on this tight end, and he's also walling off 3. So he does a lot of things for me. He walls off the number 3, right? Doesn't allow him to get a free release up the field. That's going to help this safety. And then he helps me, right, by taking this tight end from leverage when he comes across the field. So now all I got to do is kind of, stay in this area just in case. And I also have, soft squad help with this flat. Okay, so in this clip right here, we are facing bunch offset again. I did not, this is before I really perfected the blitz. And if I did not say how to run this blitz, I apologize. But versus bunch HB strong, what you want to do is you want to use the strength. They got to the strength. And all you really want to do is pinch your D-line, pinch your linebackers, blitz, and QB contain. And you want to mug the gap, that one of these B gaps. So usually I'll mug this gap, and that allows this guy to come free. Now versus bunch offset, which is what we're facing right here, the best way I found to get this blitz to come free is to mug over top of the tackle instead of in the gap. You see right here, I'm in the gap. And then what you want to do is crash your line to where this blitzing linebacker is. So I'll crash my line this way, all right? Everybody crashes inside like that. Now, another variant, you can really just mix up, what you're doing with your D-line and your blitzes, because at the end of the day, it's still a 5v5 blitz, but you're kind of mugging the gap, making it, just taking the attention of one of the offensive linemen and then getting back into coverage, which is, it's nothing new. And so here, I'm just not going to set it up really well. But sometimes I'll use this guy, mug the gap, and this guy will come free, similar to the bunch HB strong. But what's important is the coverage on the back end. So sometimes what I like to do, this again is cover 9, is I'll third this guy, right? But I only will do this if I am not blitzing. If I am blitzing, I keep him in the deep half because I want that roof over top. And outside third, sometimes we get too far to the sideline, opening up this middle of the field, because as you see, this guy right here, he's going to be the one to end up catching an interception. He is matching the crosser and or post. So he's playing more like a robber, right? And that's why I call him like a robber technique safety. And if you have a third, that middle of the field, all of that is just free real estate, right? But if I'm blitzing, I'm expecting some type of pressure. So I'm going to keep this deep half here because he stays, enough in the seam to protect the seam. Also, he can get out, right? And the way that you beat a cover 2 style defense like this is by flooding this deep half and forcing them to, have somebody up the seam, somebody deep down the sideline. But when I'm sending 5 players, you're not going to have enough time to hit deep down the sideline, right? Or maybe you want to do something like this, like a flood, right? You got a vertical clear out, and then boom, right? And you're high-lowing this defender here. But you just won't have enough time to get to this with pressure in your face. So right here, though, he goes for the cover 3 beater, I believe. The way that they run it out of double post is they'll have a clear out here. They have this like angled post route that is really good at beating coverage. Let me see if I could draw that a little better. It gets to such a good part of the field. And then you have this like really wide wheel out the back, from the tight end. Then you have your running back coming across, and then you usually have like this like C route, right? And so I'm expecting that. And in this clip, this guy, he's going to come over, right? He's focused on this side. He's going to take this post. He's going to meet it right at the pinnacle of the point where they're going to throw the ball, and it's a pick more times than not. This deep half safety, right? He is going to get vertical with this streak. So as he's getting deep, he's getting as deep as the deepest man. You have your vertical hook and your soft squad actually do a good job of two-manning this tight end wheel route. And the vertical hook plays it initially, right? Then he passes it over to the soft squad, and the soft squad takes him all the way up the field. You'll see in one of these clips, I will catch an interception when Slay is going to turn his hips and run with that wheel up the field. And then lastly, this C route, it does a decent job of beating this outside third adjustment, right? And that's why sometimes I will keep him in a quarter, because the quarter plays it much tighter. The outside third adjustment, it's still there enough to, if somebody throws it late, it's an interception. You would need perfect timing to beat this coverage right here on this. And so if you need, if my opponent has to throw a perfect time ball, I'm comfortable with the defense that I have on the field. So as my user, I'm just kind of reading this running back. If he goes here, if he goes all the way across, if he goes up the seam, if he goes straight to the flat, that's basically what I'm reading, and I'm hoping that at some point my pressure gets there. So right here, you'll see my pressure doesn't scream, but it forces a quicker read, and he just throws this post route blindly right into my inside quarter. Okay, so in this defensive clip, I am going against a bunch strong X nasty, I believe it's called. Usually this guy right here is flexed out here outside the numbers, and the nasty variant, that just means he's moved in, unless he was in in bunch HB strong and motioned him in. That could have possibly happened. Here, it's a long down and distance, and I'm running what I call the cover 3 cloud variant with a blitz. So I'm not really worried about this guy going quick here or going quick here. I'm not worried about him really in the quick game, because I feel like he throws that we can easy rally to it. My user also sometimes, I will kind of try to bait that throw in the first place, because I have these 3 guys right in zones on the right. So the weakness of this defense is clearly the middle, the intermediate middle, right to the flat area. And that is because I am sending a blitz. Usually, if I'm sending, my base 4-man rush, this guy will be somewhere in the flat, giving me flat support. But right here, I like to blitz a lot against bunch HB strong, because a lot of the route combos are either a tsunami or flood to the strength. I call it tsunami when it's, for, like, let's say he's going, running back flat. You got to clear out deep corner, right? And then like a shorter corner or something like that. Or a route combo such as flooding everything going away from the strength. So let's say like I know a lot. It's a play called like trail, right, where you have a drag. Oops, let me do that again. A drag. You have a Texas or an angle route coming from that tight end. You have maybe like a flat or maybe a vertical pull, right? And then I know that a lot of people like to run something like this, where they'll have a deep crosser, right, or deep over, a shallow, and then the running back coming out the backfield on this like really weird streak route. Let me see if I can draw that a little better. It's more like he comes out at like an angle, and he gets at such a tender spot down the field. And when I'm facing those kind of those kind of route combos, this vertical hook guy, he is key, because when this running back releases here, right, he'll be in that window for that. Sometimes if the running back does block, right, because here's my thing is, if you're sending out this running back every single play, then I'm going to blitz this guy, because I know that my pressure will get there, right, before anything super deep downfield. And you'll see in these clips, before anything downfield can develop, my blitz is going to scream. So I condition you to, when I'm facing gun bunch HB strong, you're going to have to block that running back, because that is what makes HB strong so good. It's this running back out the backfield. He is so tough to guard, because of, you can't really run true match coverage, because Madden has a 4 strong rule where there's 4 players. And what I mean by 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. When you have 4 threats to one side, it basically cancels all match coverage. But I will say cover 9, this also comes out of cover 9. If I did not say that, excuse me. Cover 9 does a good job of still matching, especially with his vertical hook. He does a great job. He is pretty much essential to this defense. This soft squad also will match corner routes. So again, cover 4 match may be killed with this, but you still have the match principles of your underneath defenders. I prefer the outside third over the deep half. So this comes from the packages. What you want to do is, if I don't say this earlier, you want to change your package in your audibles. When you're setting up your defense, at the bottom it'll say packages or something, and you want to shift it over to either FS, which is free safety inside, or SS, strong safety inside. That's going to allow you to put this guy into an outside third over a deep half, because they get closer to the sideline to bracket corner routes. And you'll see, like in the last clip, he's going to get a PBU, pass breakup, on that particular route combo. So again, then I'm just, spinning my cover 3, right? So it's cover 3 cloud, my user. I know that I have to take the first thing smoking coming from this side, right? And if, they try to do like a flood, right? I trust in my user to be able to guard shallow and get back, to the middle of the field, to the deep middle of the field. And by that point, I should have some kind of pressure. And if, I'm not blitzing, then I'll take the shallow, pass them off to this defender, and then get back in the hole, for the intermediate middle crosser, the route that they are most likely trying to hit. So you'll see right here, we get a sack. So again, like, comment, subscribe if you're new. Comment any other, videos you want me to make, whether it's offense, whether it's defense, any offenses that you're having trouble with. I'm gonna show you guys how I would or like to guard it. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all today. I'm out.